Hello, welcome back. Today's topic is Structuralism by Ferdinand Sassure. Saussurean structuralism, Sassure introduced structuralism in linguistics, marking a revolutionary break in the study of language, which had till then been historical and philological. In Sassure, the previously undivided sign gets divided into the signifier, the sound image, and the signified. Structuralism's basic characteristics are a holistic interpretation of the text, a focus on the underlying patterns or systems that cause changes in action, a look at the structure beneath the world that can be seen, and an acknowledgement that societies create structures that repress actions. The connection between the signifier and signified is arbitrary. Structuralism by Ferdinand de Saussure. Structuralism is the name that is given to a wide range of discourses that study underlying structures of signification. Signification occurs whenever there is a meaningful event or in practice of some meaningful action. Signifying practices. A meaningful event might include any of following: writing or reading a text, getting married, having a discussion over a cup of coffee, a battle. Most, if not all, meaningful events involve either a document or an exchange that can be documented. This would be called a text. Text might include any of the following: a news broadcast, an advertisement, an edition of Shakespeare's King Lear, the manual of my new washing machine, the wedding was a feature film. From the point of view of structuralism, all texts, all meaningful events, and all signifying practices can be analyzed for their underlying structures. The course in general linguistics. Why general? Saussure's demand for a general linguistics is what leads to his most startling insight. Previously, there had been many explanations of language, but there had always been something missing, and thus the absence of a ground to explain all of language. An empiricist like John Locke, for instance, would have explained language by claiming that words were used to refer to things or to mental images of things. All the discrete objects in the world, trees, dogs, cats, and men and women, each has a word in vocabulary that pertains to them. Saussure's explanation of language, as we will see, is quite adequate for discussing real things in the world as well as fictional objects and abstract concepts. Indeed, Saussure would explain everything that language can do. The sign. Saussurean structuralism. In his course in General Linguistics 1916, Saussure saw language as a system of signs constructed by convention. Understanding meaning to be relational, being produced by the interaction between various signifiers and signified, he held that meaning can't be understood in isolation. The most fundamental binary opposition is related to the concept of sign, the basic unit of signification. Paradigmatic and syntagmatic axes. Saussure illustrated this relationality of language with the terms paradigmatic axis of selection and syntagmatic axis of combination. Further, he challenged the view of reality as independent and existing outside language and reduced tank cage to a mere naming system. As Jacques Derrida pointed out, social theory is based on binary oppositions or deaths, defining a unit in terms of what it is not, which give rise to oppositional pairs in which one is always superior to the other. Signifier and signified. In Socio, the previously undivided sign gets divided into the signifier, the sound image, and the signified, the concept. Socio stressed that the relationship between the signifier and the signified is conventional and arbitrary, and that both terms are psychological in nature. There is no one-to-one relation between the signifier and signified. For instance, the sound image tree may refer to different kinds of tree, or it may even be a metaphor for a forest. Therefore, it is inferred that meaning is arbitrary and unstable. Synchronic and Diachronic language. Diachronic linguistics is the study of a language through different periods in history. It is one of the two main temporal dimensions of language that identified by Swiss linguist Ferdinand de Saussure in course in General Linguistics 1916. The other is synchronic linguistics. Diachronic literally means across time, and it describes any work which maps the shifts and fractures and mutation of language over the centuries. In gross outline, it is similar to revolutionary biology, which maps the shifts and transformation of rocks. Synchronic literally means with time. Langue and Parole. Langue is the system of language, all the possible rules that make up the language in theory. Parole, on the other hand, is how these rules are put into action by the speaker of that language. The man who defined these concepts is Ferdinand de Saussure. Langue. Langue comprises the rules of grammar of a language, the syntax, the phonetics, spellings, etc. Parole is making use of these rules to produce utterances. Langue is the system and parole is the use of the system. An individual can use the language system to produce speech and also to produce writing. Books. Course in General Linguistics and History of Structuralism. Thank you very much.